Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on. I'm super excited.
Yeah, no problem. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, you sound great.
Okay, okay.
All right. So, right off the bat, I just like been watching your content. It's so awesome. And you're obviously like super young and know so much about like crypto and stocks and NFTs and everything. So, how did you get started in like the NFT and crypto space specifically? Like where did that start for you?
I was like originally into stocks, right? And then I remember I used to work at like McDonald's, and then a friend was telling me about. I was telling him, oh, I'm into stocks, and he was telling me, oh, I'm into crypto, and he was telling me he was trading like shit coins are called, like the really
Mhm.
really volatile ones.
Yeah.
And he's telling me, oh, I put a couple $100. Some of them will go up a lot, so it's worth it. So I was like, oh, I should try that. And then I like got into crypto like that. I followed Bitcoin a bit, but it was just sort of like one of those things I looked at, but I didn't trade.
Right.
And I knew about it, but like I didn't really like know much. And then I got into like trading through like trading all those small caps, and then I switched to like crypto futures, and
Mhm.
then uh, with crypto futures I started with like a couple $1,000, and then need like by like the middle of the bull market almost, like the 2020 run up when Bitcoin ran up to like almost like 70K.
Right.
I had like way a little over like six figures from just
Wow.
a thousand. So I was like, oh, this is way better than stocks, because stocks, it took me way longer to build up my account.
Right. It's a lot more volatile, especially when you get into those kind of like, I guess you could say like shitcoin, that kind of area. You saw like people, especially during that bull market. I heard so many stories of people that just like huge return, like super, super fast. So do you find that
Yeah.
now that we're kind of out of that, is it a little bit harder to see that return, obviously, or are you still kind of like keeping up with it?
Uh, it's like it's a bit less now, but like most people now in crypto, what they're doing, it's like scaled back. So
Hmm.
I've kind of done something similar where I'm trading like with a lot. I'm still trading, but with like a lot less size. Uh, but like in general, like with crypto markets, it's easier to trade like one way up or one way down, and
Right.
not really like people in crypto call it like chop, where it's just like up down, all that.
Yeah.
But so like it's definitely less, but it's more like it's not like I'm sure I could, if I tried hard enough, get some like crazy gain, but then that would be taking on too much risk, and then
Right.
at that point gambling. So there's no point. It's better just to wait. Like now is a really really good time to learn how to trade, but you shouldn't trade with like a lot of size essentially.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. I like that you said that, it's not gambling when you're doing it correctly and you know what you're doing and you're doing calculated risk, then it's not, yeah, because if you're not calculating it, if you're not kind of like seeing what your risk to reward is and like doing it properly or kind of having a strategy for yourself, it's kind of like you're just going in blind. And obviously you were able to be so successful because you're actually like calculating what you're doing. And that's something that you could actually can do long term where it actually makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, yo,
So
I
yeah.
would say though at one point I wasn't really calculating. It was sort of just everything was. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's
Uh,
okay.
yeah, everything was just going up, so I was just sort of like buying the dip essentially, and you can like in those types of markets you can sort of just trade one way, and
Mhm.
usually you'll make a lot of money. Like you just buy or short. But like now though I take like I calculate risk, good risk reward, good risk management. I use stop losses, things like that.
Yeah.
So like now is like a good time to like basically sharpen all your skills,
Right. Yeah, I like that.
because there's a
Sure.
lot of traders who can only trade like the whole up movement, and then when we
Mhm.
get to this period, a lot of them can't make money.
Right.
So
Yeah.
uh like the type of traders with good risk management, sometimes they don't do as well in the whole run up. Like maybe they won't get like a that 10,000% gain on their portfolio. Maybe they
Right.
only like, double or triple or
Yeah.
10x it, let's say.
Which is still
But
good.
now they're still able to make money, whereas those people who can only trade this with no risk management, probably chances are they gave back all their profits.
Right. Yeah. I see what you mean. So before you're saying now, like, you're using stop losses, you're being really calculated. Before, like, say, like last year, were you not using stop losses? You were just like riding it as much as you could?
Yeah, I would use like Yeah, usually I wouldn't use stop losses. I would have like mental stop losses. But the
Right.
thing is, with the mental stop loss is when the trend like changes against you, it'll change hard, right? So by the
Right.
time that you see a huge red candle, it's already too late, and you're like your mental stop loss. Oh, I should have sold there, and then you're
Right. Yeah.
like,
Fair enough. Yeah, that's super cool. So obviously you're into that a lot and like stocks and crypto. Do you do any like NFT investing as well, or is that like totally not your
uh,
thing?
yeah, I don't do too much NFT investing or like NFT buying. I have
Mhm.
one NFT. It's called like Yoits, something like that, like YOOTS. It was
Okay.
like really, yeah, it was like released like a few like a week ago or something like that, and that I was like 5x on it, but apart
Cool.
from that, not really.
Yeah, it's more like you can't really I get like NFT is not as that like quick, trading factor. It's more of like the long term, maybe hold or like buy and sell. I feel like it's a lot different kind of process than what you're doing on crypto. So yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense. So
I
what
think like with NFT trading, I think you could make quick flips. But I think the main advantage that I would have if I were to get into NFT trading, which I plan to do like more heavily, is I would be able to get like whitelisted for all these projects because I could just use
yeah.
my TikTok as leverage.
Yeah, 100%. You could do that. Yeah, that's like the main way if people want to, I think, use like NFT investing as like making profit. You definitely have to get, yeah, early stages is so important, whitelisting so important, and just really looking at factors of the projects to make sure they're not going to be, like rug pulls. I feel like it takes a lot more. It's a different kind of work. I'm not going to say it's more work than trading crypto and stuff, but it's just different. You have to get like
Yeah,
a sense of the
but
communities and stuff.
yeah, but like for sure, if you have like I think like the most powerful thing in crypto is literally just having a following of like a couple, like ideally over 100K, but like for over 10,000 followers, and you're basically set in terms of getting like whitelisted for most
Yeah,
projects and
100%.
brand deal. Like, because crypto brand deals pay way more than other niches, and if you get
Yeah.
onto YouTube too, like the AdSense is like way. I think like Graham Stephan, his AdSense was like 4 or 5 million, and his
Wow.
way less for like compared to he's still getting millions of views, but way less in comparison to other niches. So like
Right.
in general, like crypto and finance, it pays really well, I find. So like one of the best things start like a TikTok, I guess, crypto.
Yeah. I always tell people to create content. Is that why you started your TikTok account? It was you were like had that intention behind it of like, oh, I could use this to, help my investing grow.
Yeah, I didn't really know about like the whole like I knew like finance paid really well on YouTube,
Mhm.
but I didn't. The thing is like TikTok when I started, it was pretty new. Like there wasn't like all these like it wasn't really. I think now TikTok is seen as like a viable business where you can make
Mhm.
like obviously you can make like thousands of dollars a month from it, and there's
Yeah.
so many different options like UGC content, brand deals, things like that. I think at the time, uh, I think maybe like people were doing a few brand deals, but I'm not even sure. Like I started like 2019, like December, so near the end of
Mhm.
2019. But like what was interesting is when I started my TikTok, if you like go through my like first video, it's like me showing a video of I had like $500 in my portfolio, right? So
Mhm.
like as my TikTok grew, so did my uh like trade imbalance and all that grew.
Right.
And they like it definitely did help because I remember one month I made like 3,600, 3,800 Canadian in like one month from just like 4 TikToks or something like that. So then I took that money, and that was like initially the money I used for like crypto.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it helped a lot. But
Yeah.
I didn't, I wasn't really sure what was my main goal. Maybe, oh no, the reason I got into TikTok originally is because I always heard Gary Vee talk about it, and he's like,
Yeah.
get on TikTok. And I was trying to
You
post YouTube.
listened early then. You said 2019?
Yeah, like 2019, like December
Yeah. Wow.
26th. Yeah.
You were like on it.
Yeah, well, like I probably heard him like 4 months earlier say that, and then I think I posted one video, deleted it, and then got off. But then I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it again,
Mhm.
and I was doing YouTube at the time, but like YouTube, I didn't really find much success with, maybe like
Mhm.
a couple hundred subscribers, but I knew how to like edit all that. I didn't really apply those skills on TikTok, like it was just like filming with like
A
my
lot more
screen.
raw. That's like one of the pros of TikTok is that you can be a little bit more raw and just like put content out. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be
But I think
super
now
like,
it's kind of changing though. I think I noticed
I think
like
it is.
now like a lot of like Alex Ramosi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he like I think his type of style with the whole captions and all that. Like I noticed that's doing really well on like
Yeah. And the
basis.
longer form, even too, the longer form content where like you were 2019, I got started TikTok like late 2020. And even since then, it's changed so much now where I got really used to the super short form, really quick. And now it's kind of like, oh, a little bit longer content's doing better. Yeah, like a little bit more editing and like
Yeah,
professionalism or whatever you want to call it. So it is changing, but that's like any platform. I guess you have to expect over time it will change. But yeah, it's such a good platform. I think it's so cool that you kind of started and you were able to show your story as you went or like share live as you were kind of like learning more and investing more and growing your portfolio and also sharing that. I think that's
yeah,
always a good
yeah.
way
And
to
like
grow
I was
specifically on TikTok.
yeah, and like a lot of things built off of it. Like during like the 2020 bull market with stocks, I made like I think I made like an email list where I'd share my like weekly buys. So
Cool.
I'd say, oh, or my weekly watch list. So I'd say I'm looking at these stocks to buy, blah blah blah, whatever. But then I started sharing them, and I'd be like, okay, this stock went up 200% for my weekly watch list, and then those videos used to get a lot of views. And then what I did, wanted my exact time, like I buy it. So then I made a website, $9.99 a month, and I made like one TikTok. We got like 300,000 views of like my recap of the stocks I bought last week, and one of them went up like 300%. So, and I don't even think in the video I promoted my website. I promoted my email list on my website. My email list is
Mhm.
free, but people saw, oh, get my trades paid, whatever, and I got like over 100 subscribers from that. And then
Wow.
I also used like that money that I made, like a couple $1,000, and used it in like to with stocks and all that.
That's so smart. And I like to do the email lists and stuff. I think, especially when you start to grow a TikTok following, there's so many ways you can use it. And some people don't really do anything with it, and that's fine. But the fact that you're like using, you're like, I'm growing an email list, I'm sharing what I'm doing with my investing, like that, you're building a foundation for something really great, like longevity wise, even like you're getting like a really loyal following and you're doing something with it. So I think that's really cool. What advice maybe would you, if somebody's watching and they're like thinking about creating content around like finances or investing or trading and things like that, what is your advice like starting now in 2022? Like what would you tell them to do?
Yeah, like now it's like I still think it's viable, but it's like way like what were you talking about. You can't do the whole like, especially I noticed in finance, the whole like uh look at how much money I made when you're just like filming on like your phone.
Right.
It doesn't really work that well anymore. Uh, there are like a few creators who can get away with it. Uh, but I think that's like they already like built in their audience so they can keep on doing it. Like
Mhm.
this one guy, he just does testing TikTok side hustles. I've seen him like, and he has like almost 1 million followers. But now, if you look at all the finance creators, a lot of them have like 200, 300,000 followers, but they all got their followers during the whole, like I guess
Right.
like the whole run up. So now, like all the new creators I've noticed are like doing well is sort of like they like record with like a mic and all that, and like I use the Canon EOS M50, like that type of camera. You can
Mhm.
also, I think the iPhone 13, it has like the background blur thing that you can
Yeah.
record. So maybe
Cinematic.
camera that would be good. But I think like investing into like sort of professional videos helps a lot.
Hmm.
And then the whole caption style where it's like like the subtitles, like
A
and
little
then
flashy.
yeah, exactly, yeah, and then hook, like I think the hook matters a lot. Usually, what I'll do with my videos is I'll use like almost like a clickbait type hook, and then I'll be like, and then I'll explain it more in the video. So like those types of videos do well. But like what I recommend is a lot of my friends, like if they were to like start um like finance type TikTok, let's say they're starting out, like they don't really know much. I would just do like a series, call it like Zero to a Millionaire challenge, and like
Hmm.
those would for sure like go crazy because one, you can incorporate your like personality into those videos, so you're not easily replaceable. You can talk about like a bunch of different ventures that you're doing. Like if you're starting from like zero, let's say not like zero zero, but like zero, living with your parents, something like that, you could
Right.
easily do like reselling, trading, all these different types of things you can make videos on, and then you'll start getting money from brand deals probably pretty quickly once you hit like 10,000 followers. But
Yeah.
that's what I would do. I would do like because I think people like seeing like a progression type thing,
Yeah.
and even now like I'm doing like $100 crypto account. I haven't made too many videos on it recently because I stopped trading on it because it's a bit hard. But from like those videos I noticed do really well, just like 100 to 10,000 million. So I would probably do just like 0 to 1 millionaire challenge and just record my
Yeah.
progress, but make it like better than everyone else, like better edit. I would probably like go full on like Casey Neistat type edit and just go crazy with it and
Hmm.
make it like real. I think that there's a guy like named like Jesse Eckel or something like that. He did like that, and he his editing was really good, and I think that would still work now.
Yeah, like that extra effort on the editing, I think could go a long way, especially now where the app is at compared to like 2019 is kind of like you can show up and just be like, hey, what's up? And you'll get a ton of reach.
Yeah,
Also, yeah, series like that where you do like a 0 to 1 million, something like that. I always recommend people do some sort of reason for people to come back and watch more of your videos rather than just putting out one really good video and people watch it and like, okay, cool. They don't have a reason to like follow along or be more invested in, okay, what's next? So, yeah, that kind of like
yeah,
having people come along on a journey with you. And I think that was a huge part of what you did too. Like, even if you weren't really meaning to off the bat, but just kind of showing your progression over the years, I think is cool. People can follow along, like a journey, a story, a challenge. Like, those things are
yeah,
really
yeah.
helpful. Yeah. Don't have any questions in here. That was all my questions I had for you. It was really cool to kind of hear your story and where you're at and everything. I guess one last question could just be, what is your, I've been asking everyone who comes on to the live, what is your prediction on kind of where crypto and things like that, like where do you think that's going to be 20 years from now compared to now? Do you think it's going to be more of a mainstream thing? Do you think it'll be really different? Like, do you have any predictions on that?
Uh, well, like now, I think just crypto follows the stock market, right?
Mhm.
So I think it's just one of those things that like, well, Bitcoin it has like a few catalysts. Like everything basically follows Bitcoin.
Right.
Like, so I think the main thing to focus on is Bitcoin, and then everything else will sort of follow. And all those like trends or like things that stick around, usually they're hard to find now, but then once the bull market starts like running up again, then you'll start seeing them all pop up, and then you can see which ones. So like the main focus for me right now would be to like see where crypto is going. Would be to look at Bitcoin, and
Mhm.
if you're looking at Bitcoin, you have to look at the stock market. So right now the stock market it's like kind of down. So I think what will happen is if the stock market runs back up, which eventually it will once like inflation starts going down, things like that, then I think what will happen is Bitcoin will start running up and it'll stay like pretty close in terms of percent gain with the stock market. Stock
Yeah.
market goes up 5%, maybe Bitcoin goes up max 10%, not
Yeah.
maybe like 2 to 1, not too much. And
Mhm.
then I think what will happen is Bitcoin needs some type of major catalyst. So either I don't know, like a major company adopting Bitcoin or buying Bitcoin, similar to what happened with Tesla. Maybe if like Apple were to buy Bitcoin or something like that, Bitcoin would go up a lot. That's mostly speculation because that's like you can't really predict those catalysts. Maybe
Yeah,
they'll happen
no, you really
eventually.
can
Yeah, but you don't have
predict.
a timeline for it. But like for like the spot ETF, I think that's like the a clear sight near like relatively near catalyst that could happen. So I think if that happens, then Bitcoin will run up and
Mhm.
it'll start outperforming the stock market. Or the second scenario is like every couple of years, Bitcoin has the halving event or halving event where like the block size gets cut in half. Right now, I think it's like 925 Bitcoin mined a day. Then it'll get cut in half then. And usually what will happen is there'll be a run up before and after. So I think the stock market entering out of its bear market, or I guess it might be out of its bear market, but like the stock market continuing to run up and make new highs, and Bitcoin following it, I think it'll lead up perfectly to the halving event, and then Bitcoin will like run up a lot. But the thing
Yeah.
is that's all the way in 2024.
Right. Yeah.
So
Kind of just, I mean, it's very, as much as we can try to predict it, like we don't really know. It's just, something we can look at like patterns that have already happened or things that are happening now and kind of predict that a little bit. I think you're totally right with like follows the stock market. So we can kind of even look at that as like a, we have a lot more data and like history with the stock market and the crypto. So I think that's a good way to look at it. And yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for coming on and sharing. And this is really, really fun. It's cool to see your
Yeah. Wait,
content.
can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, since you're into like uh uh like TikTok and all that, what are your goals with TikTok?
My
Just like
goals. So I have my other account, Socially Kels, which is my TikTok account that I started originally. I was doing freelance social media management, and I kind of started that account to gain clients for that. Ended up growing a big following, so now I like do brand deals on there. I have a social media agency over there. So really, my goal TikTok over there is just to continue to kind of grow my audience and I have a podcast now over there, and I use it to like generate leads for my agency. And then over here, I work with Web3M, and that's an NFT project. So we're trying to get specifically marketers, business owners, entrepreneurs, and creators. That's kind of our like target audience for our project. So we're just kind of creating awareness around that. And yeah, that's kind of the two goals on both
oh,
sides.
okay. So you
Yeah,
do
yeah.
like YouTube content and all that?
Yeah. I've done like UGC content. My agency does social media management and content creation, like podcast brand
Oh.
deals.
How do you land clients for that? Is it all through TikTok?
Pretty much all through TikTok at this point. Yeah. That's kind of how I generate
You
leads, and then I just have people apply.
you don't do like cold emails or anything like that?
No, I mean I used to when I was first getting started. That's how I kind of first got my first few clients, was just like kind of like cold outreaching, posting on social media, like DMing. But now just the fact that I kind of like established a really like people just trust me now that I kind of established an audience, and I kind of just as long as I'm consistently putting out content that's valuable and kind of like educating or kind of talking about my services, then it continuously generates enough leads that we don't have to do any outreach, which is very nice.
What do you typically charge for like a UGC piece of content for TikTok?
Yeah, like all the packages are kind of different. To me, like for example, a brand deal is a lot more expensive than UGC. So typically, I would put together a package of like, say, okay, I'm going to create 20 videos a month or something like that, and I kind of go off the range of like 150 per video. So depending on how many
Really?
videos they want. Yeah, that's
Uh,
pretty standard too.
yeah,
Like I've heard people doing a lot more. So
yeah. I was trying to figure out prices because I had Binance email me, and then I
oh
wasn't really
yeah.
sure what the price. I priced it around like I think I underpriced it way more. I did like 40s or something like that.
Oh my gosh, no, you could, especially if Binance is a huge company. You
Yeah,
could totally
bro.
do more for sure. I think like the bare minimum right now is like $70 a video, but that's more for people that are just starting out and like you have grown this audience and you're good at creating content, so you for
Yeah,
sure could
and like
charge
my
way
videos are
more.
like pretty high quality. I feel like so.
Yeah, oh my god, especially if you're using your camera and like mic and things like that, you could be up even in like the 200s for sure.
Okay, I'll try starting with like 100 and see what I can do.
Yeah, whatever's worth it to you, right? If you're like, oh, that's a good amount for like my time and everything, then you're golden. But yeah, you can go way higher.
Yeah, you have editors and all that, or like people.
I'm just now starting to outsource and get help with editors, but for the longest time, like I did pretty much all myself, which is a lot of work. But I'm not like super fancy with the editing like you are, so it's not too bad.
Okay, but you have like other team members that you pay and all.
Yeah, now I'm at the point where I have a few team members, which is very helpful, and now I can actually scale. It's really hard to scale when you're doing it by yourself,
Yeah,
so
yeah. I
it
want to
takes
get
that.
into it, like UGC and all that, but like specifically for like finance
Mm-hmm.
type.
Yeah. Well, your account already is like a great portfolio for you
Yeah, exactly.
already, so that's like huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cool.
nice talking to you.
Yeah, you too. We'll have to do it again and stay connected. I'm excited to see more of your content and keep
Yeah, for
following.
sure.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Bye.
Bye.